Welcome to Date at 8. Richard Crawford Small here. Hope you're all good. Hey Jace, how you doing? Anybody else who's watching, jump in, say hello. Good to hear. We'll see who's around. Tonight we are going to cover off an unusual concept around comfort zones. The reason I say unusual is it's something that gets thrown around an awful lot about dealing with your comfort zone, dealing with this, dealing with that. The mission around us for this month really has been around pricing, and pricing and comfort zones are like this. They are so connected. It is unreal. I think everybody, especially us as kind of entrepreneurs, as sexual entrepreneurs, are faced with is fear, right? And stretching ourselves. And part of the reason why I even kind of set up the Aesthetic Entrepreneurs community was to help people through all of this, the challenges of being an entrepreneur. It's not just about, dealing with pounds, shillings and pence, although that's massively important. It's also about, dealing with that entrepreneurial mindset where we have time, energy and money as our only real assets as human beings. And, time is the most valuable one of them. But energy as well. And energy gets sapped, I find, by, being in that kind of fear space all the time. And when we're talking about pricing, one of the things I find is it's the fear of doing it that actually stops people from doing it. So I put on a few little bits and pieces about comfort zones I wanted to kind of go through with you today. And this is something that was been taught to me over time. And it's a part of a process. It's kind of a learning journey, taking you through different stages. And the thing with why I believe we sit in comfort zones is it's this fear of, this desire of to feel safe, right? Who doesn't want to feel safe? Who doesn't want to feel secure? Who doesn't want to, not have to deal with things? And great comment here about. I'm just tired of the constant battle of being a business owner right now. And that's, sad to hear. But, I'd love to be able to help on that one and see what we can do with mindset. And maybe this will help you today. But it's this, everyone's got a desire to be safe, to be secure, and a right to be safe and secure. And that stops us because we kind of know where we are and we know where we want to get to. But the step after this comfort zone that we're in, and I'll go through these in a little bit more detail, right, is fear, right? Fear is immediately out there, and it's this fear of the unknown. It's the fear of what if. Everybody asks themselves the same question, right? What if? What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if this? What if that? And lack of self-confidence, not real belief in what it is we're doing, procrastination. It's really easy to not do something. It's really easy just to not do it. And then also the opinions of others, well-meaning friend. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I mean, how many times have we heard that? Someone with our best interests at heart saying, I wouldn't do that if I were you. So it stops us from doing it. Now, interestingly, if you move through the fear, then we end up in a new space, which is learning. And then that's where, things get really exciting, because that's when you start to understand what the challenges are, what the problems that we have, how we can move forward. If we know what our goal is, what's at the other end of this, what's at the end of the arrow is where we want to get to. This is where we are right now. How do we get through it? We've got to go through fear. We've got to go through learning. We've got to get into growth. So this fear aspect of things, dealing with the challenges, understanding what it is that we need to fix. But when we get into that learning aspect, that's when we start to develop skills and asking people whose opinions that we value. And one of the things I've often found with that whole fear thing is, again, it's massive, this opinions of others and who you ask. And I would often ask someone whose opinion I value, right? And it's someone who I would want to pay or ask for their opinion, not one that's offered to me. So you need to find the people who can help you get with the answers. Extend your comfort zone out a little bit, because the more the time you spend in the learning zone, the easier it becomes. And then you get into growth. And at the other end of all that is your new comfort zone. And it's a little bit of a process, but it's not something that happens automatically. It's not something that doesn't happens without you actually doing something. It doesn't happen without you actually doing something. So first sort of stage of this, while we're in our sat in our comfort zone, and if you're struggling with something right now, this is the place to start. And for me, it's about acceptance. Okay, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's actually a book. I can't remember the name of the lady who wrote the book, but it's a good book actually. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And if you listen, a lot of all of the um, cliches and quotes and things like that. Like definition of courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. But you've got to accept that it's how you feel, right? You've got to accept it, and there's nothing wrong with accepting it. It's just this is how it is. You felt it, but now you've got to kind of gird your loins to move forward. And how I deal with it, because like I'm a human being like everybody else, right? And I feel all of this a lot of the time. And as a business owner, it's hard work, right? It is a challenge. Is I have my eye on the goal. I think about what it is that I'm going to achieve. I call it Valhalla, right? What does Valhalla look like? How do you get a load of Vikings to more willingly want to die? Well, they fully believe that what happens in Valhalla is better when they are now. So you've got to fully believe that where you're going to is a better place than where you are right now. And it could be, and it probably will be, but you've just got to get through it. So first thing, accept it, and then do it. Create the plan. Just do it. Because in reality, this is your comfort zone. Sorry, that's cut off a little bit there. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Do you know what? If I play around with this, there's a good chance I'm just going to break it. So I will read it to you. But what it is, this is where your comfort zone is. And this kind of place that you're in that you think is safe isn't, right? It's on fire. It's this barren wasteland because you've seen the future. You identify what you want to get to. So where you are right now is if you're not moving forward, then you are moving backwards. And this here is like, hey, you know what? I'm totally safe. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Truth of the matter is, that's not the case. Your brain is telling you to stay safe. It's telling you to stay where you are. But the reality of it is, and especially as a business owner, is that if you're not moving forward, if you're not increasing your prices, if you're not out talking to strangers, because that can be a scary thing as well, right? If you want to go out there and get new leads, you've got to talk to strangers and make them friends. It's a scary thing to do. So everyone says, "Oh no, I won't bother with doing that." The procrastination hits in, the fear hits in, but this is the reality, right? Your comfort zone is not a safe place, and if you understand and appreciate that, then literally you've got to take the step forward. So you take a step forward, and you move into your fear zone, and it's like, shit, I need to do something, but what if? Because it's not the green, pleasant pastures of success. It's just, fuck, I need to do something, but what if it all goes wrong? And my advice is allow it to happen, explore all of the what ifs, the negatives, and you can write them down. You can write down where you are, the comfort zone. What is it that you like about the comfort zone? I'm here, I'm safe, I'm doing this, maybe I'm making the money, blah, 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 blah. And then what is it that's, in between you and the goal is, what if it doesn't work? What's the worst that can happen? What if I fail? What if I lose? You've got to go through this zone in order to get to your learning zone. And learning zone this is really challenging, but I'm getting it. And this is when, you're going to make your mistakes. It's when you also, for me, find the right people to ask the right questions. I'm not an expert in everything by any means, right? So there are things that I need to know how to do. And one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life is not asking the right questions of the right people. And a lot of time is because I don't know what the question is. The only way you find a question in is if you actually do it. You take the step forward and go, right, I'm going to do this. I'm committed to doing this. Got through the fear and I'm like, right, how do I do this? How do I do this? And that's the right question to ask. How do I do it? Who can I ask? who's done this before, who can help me, who can guide me. That for me that's where you're in the right headspace, because then you're asking the right questions, you're understanding the right things, and you're doing the right things, and you'll test a few things and they won't work. And most of the stuff that I do doesn't work. A lot, and it costs, and when it doesn't work, does it cost me money? Yeah. Opportunity? Yeah. Time? Yeah. Energy? Yeah. But the stuff that does work, you have to go through the same process. So it's that whole process of learning how. And then you get to this bit, the growth, right? And I'm seeing results. And I've skipped a little bit too fast because that little green shoot there is really, really important, because it it's the one thing that shows you that things are happening. So one saying I've heard, one swallow doesn't make a summer. I hate that, right? Because it's used as really kind of a negative thing. Well, one swallow doesn't make a summer, but it's still one bloody swallow, right? And you think, right, I'm going to do this. I've created this new package or this new program. I'm going to launch it, and it goes out there, and you're like, I've got to market, I've got to communicate, talk to people about it. No one's interested. But I did the right things. I asked my clients what they would like. I created this solution to solve their problems, and now I'm promoting it. No one's interested. And then bang, you get one. That is it. That's the green shoot. And it shows you that it's working. So then you've got to go and find more people. It helps if you go this way. Then you got to find more people, more of whatever it is you want. And then you get into growth, which is, right, I'm starting to see results. So I'm now going to double down on it. I'm now going to put my focus into it because I've seen that it's going to work. And you get into the growth zone. And, again, that's where things really start to move. You've kind of forgotten about all of the fear, right? The fear zone's way behind you now, way behind you. You forgot about that. And then you get into your new comfort zone. This becomes your new comfort zone. And eventually you'll expand out and you'll hit the same place again. It's like, right, I've got to change, I've got to do something. And then you'll hit a new fear zone. And this is the epitome of the thing, is where you are now is often where you dreamed of being. And think about it. It's like where you are right now. You were scared shitless of getting here at one point. You were afraid of doing these certain things before. And now you're here. So it worked. So you have a history of going through your comfort zone and coming out to the other side. A history of doing it. So for me, it's just about maintaining momentum, backing yourself, trusting yourself, and allowing yourself to, trusting yourself to succeed. So a little bit of theory and a process that I use with clients to help get through this. And I'll just run through this, and then we'll drop into questions and anything like that. So if you've got any questions, I've seen some popping up, which is fantastic. So please keep them coming. And then what we'll do is we'll go back through and I'll address them one by one. So yeah, please keep the questions coming in, or your comments coming. And if you're getting value out of this, give us a like or a love. I feed off of positivity, right? So if you're listening to this and this is all making sense and you're cool with it, give us a like. I like them. So moving into theory, right? So there's a process called, how do I put the right button, right? Called ORBIT, Objective Resource Buy-in, Implementation and Test. Now, I created this, or adapted it, it's probably a better word, out a few years ago when I was working in software, when I was working on iConsult system. And it was the system, is what I used to try and understand the development process. And actually, it helps me when I'm in my comfort zone and when I'm in that fear zone to fully try and understand what I'm trying to do and what happens, right? So if you grab a pen, bit of paper, or if you're watching this, you can always watch this back a bit later on, but listen maybe now and then, grab a pen and bit of paper later on and go back through and follow. Because this is basically the secret of doing it. So ORBIT, Objective Resource, Buy-in, Implementation and Test. So first thing, before we get into it, so we're sat in our comfort zone, right? And we're thinking, right, I've got to do this. We've moved into fear. I've got to do this. So the first thing is, well, what is this? What is the objective? What do you want to achieve? So again, as you're listening to this, pop in there. What's something that you want to achieve? What's the goal that you want? So it could be I'd like to I want to increase my revenue. I want to get more time. I want to get more, more energy. I want to do something. There's something you want to get. So first thing I look at is, right, get really clear on the objective. I want to achieve this. You don't need to dig into too much detail about it, but it's just getting clear. What is it you want to achieve? I want to achieve this. I want to launch a course to a new type of client, but I think they're there, but I'm not sure whether or not I can do it. Or maybe I'll just not do it for this. I'll leave it on the back burner. Bang. Then you're like, oh. But you get into fears like, do you know what? I really need to do this. I really want to do this. Let's get on with it. First thing, right? So I want to get new clients through the door. As one's popped up from Louise, right? Recurring revenue, fantastic. Let's pick that one. So I want to get a recurring revenue stream because that will help me with my business and it'll help me generate more revenue. Piece of it, right? Okay. So gain more clients and revenue, awesome, right? So now we're into learning zone, right? Resources. What do I need to be able to achieve it? And there's it's what I have, what I don't have. So to gain more clients and revenue, to gain more recurring revenue, gain more money, what have you got? Well, you've got existing services, right? You've got services, you've got skills, you've got treatments, you might have a team, you've got all of these different machines, bits of capital equipment, you've got, products, you've got lots and lots of resources. You've got a lot at your fingertips already. You've got your brain, there's knowledge. So start listing out. It's like, what do I have? But also, what don't I have? So if I wanted to gain more clients and more revenue, do I know where they are? Do I have the skills to be able to target them? And instinctively, you'll know where your gaps are, what your knowledge gaps are, because that's where your fear is. It's the blind spot. If you knew what to do, why would you be afraid of it? You just get on with it and do it, right? It's like, you don't need to know how to drive a car. You can probably drive a car. You know how to do it. You've done it hundreds and hundreds of times. But when you're thinking about, right, I need to learn how to pass my driving test. Well, what resources have I got? Well, might not have any. Might have a car. But what do I need to be able to achieve it? Driving instructor. My provisional license, And then, but you don't know how to drive a car. If that analogy makes any sense at all, literally just made it up on the spot. I think it works. I'm going to keep that one. So you need to know what you want to be able to achieve it. And then again, you're in your learning zone. Buy-in. Next step, OR, so buy-in. So I think I know what I want to achieve. I've got resources. Have I reflected and shared the idea? And this is where, again, it's not looking at the opinions of others, but taking considered, measured advice and guidance from people who have either done it before or know what they're talking about. And I have a team of people who I ask advice from. Jason is on here. My clients, for example, I'll often share and reflect an idea with my clients because at the end of the day, if I'm creating something for them, well then I need to know whether or not they actually want it or not. There's lots of brilliant ideas are solutions for problems that no one has. The Sinclair C5, for an example, right? Brilliant thing. No one had the problem. You could walk faster than you drove. No one plugged in electric things at that time. Great thing, useless. No one wanted it. So have I reflected and shared the idea with people who will buy it off of me? It's the first thing to look at. But then also people who maybe could partner up with me, people who could, who just know business, know pricing, know recurring revenue models, no sales, no lead gen, no finance, no wealth management, no accounting. That you share the idea. Often some of the fear is, well, if I give my amazing idea away, someone's going to steal it. Trust me, ideas are ideas, right? It's not the idea that has the value, it's the implementation that has the value. So don't worry about sharing your ideas. I speak openly about my plans because in the buy-in phase, I spend quite a lot of time here because I do want to collect information. I don't wait until I've got all of it because you waited too long, but I do sit a bit of time here, create the questions I need to know. What do I need to know? And just think it through. Then implementation. Now we're in the growth zone. What is my plan? What am I doing? How am I going to get this? How am I going to roll this out? What is it I need? Have I got everything in my resources? If I don't, do I know where to get it? And your implementation, your plan is the bit that you're trying to get to, because once you've got your plan, you can execute it. Plans for me help mitigate the fear, because I can see what I need to do and the gaps that I have. Okay, I think I know who to ask. I think I've got the information I need. But there's always, the X factor. So for those of you like marketing theory, right, Johari windows, what I know, what I don't know, what I know I don't know, and what I don't know I don't know. And it's always what I don't know, which continues to have your kind of fear in this aspect of it. But ultimately, if you have a plan, in the absence of a better one, that's what you do, because you'll evolve the plan on the way. You'll evolve the plan on the way. So you've got enough to go, then we go. And the final one, the T of Orbit, is test. How will I know when it's successful? So recurring revenue. How do you know when you have created your recurring revenue model? Probably a simple answer to that. 2 or 3 people have bought the same thing multiple times. When you get more clients, how do you know? Okay, well, I've had X number of leads that have converted into a new paying client, which has generated Y in revenue. So leads, appointments, procedures, sales, laps. You track it that way. So that's a test. So you know how you've become successful. You know what you needed to do, and you've got what you needed to get. Because the thing is, if you don't do this process, if you don't do this orbit process, what happens is you're still in the dark, and you'll never fully manage the fear. So, because you don't have a clear objective. I mean, flip it the other way and imagine if you don't do this. So I don't have a clear objective. I don't really know what I need to help. I haven't asked anybody whether or not I think it'll work or not, or got any insight whatsoever. I haven't got a plan, and I don't know whether or not how I'm going to be successful. So, many things have started that way and failed. And with this model, you're just giving yourself the best opportunity to succeed, the best opportunity to get yourself forward. So that's it. So that's, for me, that is how I manage this whole process of going through my comfort zone. Is how I managed getting from, red through to green, is that kind of process. So objective, what do I want to achieve? That helps me move through fear, because the goal, what I want to achieve, the sweet smelling nectar of success, the gates of Valhalla. Okay, I understand what I want to achieve. And then resources and buy-in, what do I need? What have I got? What do I need? Have I bounced it off a few people? Have I got some, input from some people who I think, will help support on the way? And then implementation and test, the growth zone. Your purpose, set new goals, you're conquering the objectives, you're working through your plan, cutting down the trees, getting your way through, and then you come out the other side, all singing, all dancing, happy, and guess what happens then? Do it all again. Yeah, why not? Done it once. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep pushing, keep pushing. Nothing on says you just do it once and then home in time for tea and medals. Have a chat. Yep, I'm really pleased how that went through. That was a success. Quite happy with that. Go again. Happy with it. Go again. Useful, helpful. So what we'll do is let's just pop through some of the questions. So that's the end of the content for Data 8. I hope you're enjoying it. So now I move on to the Q&A. And this will give you a little bit of a taste on how we coach. Sarah, I think it says, tired of the constant battle of being a business owner right now. It's being a business owner is tough. It's challenging, right? If it was easy, everyone would do it. I'm full of cliches. It was oh god, here we go another one. It's true though. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Sometimes a business model can take years to settle down. Essentially Entrepreneurs is 4 years old. I'm still working it out. If I'm honest, I'm still trying to work out how to serve people better. I'm still trying to work out how to generate more revenue from it. Still working out how to get more reach. I'm still working out how to adjust the model, what courses, what programs to run. So it takes time to settle down, and you need fortitude, obstinance, I think is probably another one, and vision. And you've got that bags of that. It's just the implementation. Um, and having your eye on the prize. The goal is what for me keeps you getting out of bed every morning, putting up with all of the shit, dealing with all the hassles, the people, cloning your Instagram account and peddling crypto to your mates. You know, yeah, you want to throw the towel in a lot of times, but if you did, what would happen if you did? No, yeah, exactly. You're like, no, God, I can't do that. Louise, I've just put my prices up and I was worried, but they needn't have worried because my clients have been expecting it. So again, that fear, the fear zone, just what fear of the unknown, fear of what could be, fear of what will be, creating outcomes in your mind before you've even done the thing. The human brain is an amazing machine, but it doesn't know everything. And really proud that you did that and you took those steps forward because it's a conversation I'm having a lot over and over again about this, about price increases and things like that. And there's a lot of fear out there for it, but you did it. Well done. Recently gone VAT registered with a full-time member of staff. Fast forward 2 months, staff member resigns. I'm now flying solo. VAT registered, lost my oomph, thinking something's going to drop out of the sky as a solution. Yeah, I believe they call that hope as a strategy. Now, what you lost your oomph. Get that, absolutely get that. If you put the plan together and start to execute the plan, will that not feed energy back into you in your business? If you were to think of, creating something to launch, and I know you were part of the business builder, so we've been through that process. But getting launches for me put energy in the business, and they don't have to be big fanfare things. They can be relaunches of stuff, but it's just putting energy back into it, getting excited about it. I've created this amazing thing to help all you guys on your own goal, achieve your own goals or solve your own problems, and I can't wait to get it out there for you because it's really exciting. Puts energy into it, and people will feed off it and go, oh yeah, this is really great. Again, at this time of year, everyone's a bit flat. I'm sat here doing data 8 and it's dark outside. Its clocks go back, not too well forward, is it? Spring forward, fall back. Yeah, back in the not too distant future, and it's going to be dark at 5 o'clock. Everyone's got to adjust to this, so it's going to take a little bit of time. Seasonality is a thing, so don't feel bad that you may be a little bit low energy right now, but it will come back. All of these things will pass. So my advice would be go with a launch, schedule it for early October, and just go. Best plan you've got, go for it. So what if it does work? Exactly, right? What if it does work? What if it does work? Okay, I've got a plan in my mind, but the cost to the client is high, and I can't bring myself to have the conversation to invite them on board. That's an interesting one. So that for me comes down to buy-in. So have you tested, and great to get the answer from you here, have you tested this with any of your prospective clients? Have you done a focus group of one? Again, I often do this. I think, but this is what I want to do, because when you say the costs are too high, is that an assumption or is that fact? Have you spoken to people? Have you looked at ways in which you could make it more affordable? Is it something that could be put out on a payment plan? Is it something that could be spread out over time? Don't assume that it is. And again, don't just take one person's advice. See if you can get 2 or 3 of your clients. See, I'm thinking about doing this. I know you guys have this problem, and this is what I've created for it, and I think it'll achieve this, and I'm looking around this as a price point. What do you think? And just see what happens. Listen to the reaction. You've not committed to anything. You just, I'd love to ask your advice. Is that okay? A lot of people will be really pleased that you've asked. Oh yeah, no, oh that's great. And then you do bring it to market, and they feel more engaged you feel more engaged in the solution. So, okay, so yeah, goals, recurring revenue to gain more clients and gain more revenue. Fantastic. One of my patients suggested I share out my heating bill as a tax just while it's winter. What? I'm not sure I follow what you mean. Perhaps could you elaborate on that one a little bit? One of my patients suggested I share out my heating bill. I'm going to assume that's heating bill as a tax just while it's winter. I mean, do you mean as in just put your prices up a bit over winter and then drop them back down again? Yeah, it'd be great if you just elaborate on that one a little bit for me. Others have said, I'm surprised you haven't raised your prices sooner. So there we go. So now you're in the process of your next planning out your next price increase, um, or creating something else that's going to generate some more revenue. Not getting any bookings and having to do agency nurse shifts to keep my head just above water. Okay, so why are you not getting any bookings? That's just a straight up question, right? You answer the question. Answer it. Why do you think you're not getting any bookings? So this is in your, we're in the fear zone here. You're take the step into the learning zone. Fear. Got to do agency shifts because I haven't got any clients. So learning zone. Why are you not getting any clients? What's happened? What has changed? Have you been consistent in your marketing? Have you spoken to any of your clients to find out what's going on, why they're not coming in? Get your head in the learning zone. What's going on? What's the challenges that they're having that you're having to deal with? Bleh, winter is coming. You know nothing. Those of you who have not met my wife Amy, this is my wife Amy. Norman, no picture because winter is coming. Oh no, sorry, forgot because of the Queen mourning, of course. Anyway, right, okay. I'm kind of doing it already, but I haven't packaged it up and put it out as a program. Okay, so is that a solution? Package it up, put it as a program, and just get back into the learning zone, right? Ask your clients, thinking about doing this. If I did this, this, and this, would you be interested? Yeah, great. Just don't be afraid of asking people, especially your clients, for advice. I do it all the time. Just ask Louise. Louise is one of my clients, right? I do it all the time. Just bounce ideas off them because it's the end of the day. If I'm